Hey everyone, thanks so much for being part of this journey with me. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an update. Subscribe to stay connected and be the first to see what's coming next. And if you think your friends would love this too, share it with them. Every follow, share, and comment helps me bring even more amazing content your way. Let's grow this community together. Your support means everything. Thank you. The return after months in the trenches. Enduring the harsh winds of distant lands and the constant hum of war, Captain Luca Marino was finally returning home. His body was worn, his mind tired, but there was a flicker of hope in his heart. He was coming back to the woman he loved. The one who had always been there, holding down the fort while he fought for something bigger than himself. Luca's mission had been grueling, but the thought of seeing her again their home, their life kept him going. The last few calls home had been short and strained, but he assumed it was just the stress. He didn't think much of it. He had been focused on his work, and she, in her own way, had been holding things together. As the military transport touched down on the familiar soil of home, Luca could hardly contain the rush of emotions. He imagined the reunion, his wife, Maria, standing there, waiting for him at the door with that warm smile, the one that always made him feel like the luckiest man alive. They would pick up where they left off, he thought. The years apart would fade in an instant. The drive home was quiet. Luca's heart raced as the familiar streets passed by. He could see their house in the distance, the little garden they'd planted together, the swing they'd put up for their children. He hadn't been home in over a year, but everything still felt like it was just waiting for him. When he stepped through the front door, he didn't hear the usual sounds of her laughter or the soft rustle of life inside. The silence was unsettling. He called her name, Maria. From the kitchen, a woman emerged, Maria, but she wasn't the same. She looked different, her eyes tired, her smile distant. And there was something about her posture, the way she stood, that didn't feel like the woman Luca had left behind. Before he could speak, she spoke first. "Luca, you're home." Her voice was soft, strained. But there was something else in the room, something Luca couldn't ignore. He looked around, trying to piece it together. And then it hit him. The faint scent of someone else in the air, the disarray of the house, the absence of the warmth he had once known. He caught her gaze, and it was as if she knew what he was thinking. There was no easy way to say it, but she had to. "I need to tell you something," Maria said, her voice cracking. While you were away, I wasn't alone." Luca felt his heart stop. His legs went weak beneath him. He staggered back, pressing his hands against the wall for support. "What are you saying?" His voice was low, disbelieving. Maria took a deep breath and sat down, her hands trembling as she placed them on her lap. I'm pregnant, Luca. It's not yours." Luca's vision blurred. The words felt like a punch to his gut, knocking the air from his lungs. His mind raced, but he couldn't seem to process it. The silence in the room grew deafening. He sank into a chair, his hands running through his hair as the weight of her words began to sink in. The woman he had fought for, the woman who had promised him everything, had been carrying another man's child. "I don't expect you to forgive me," Maria said, her voice barely a whisper. "I don't know why I did it. I was alone. So alone." Luca's mind screamed in pain. He had been the one to leave, yes, but the distance had been for a reason, to protect them both. And now, here he was, back in a place he thought was home, only to find it shattered. She stood up, her hand resting on her swollen belly. "I love you, Luca, but things changed. I can't undo what happened." Luca stood too, his anger boiling beneath the surface. He wanted to shout, to demand answers, but he couldn't. The words weren't enough. Nothing was enough. His hands clenched into fists, and his breath came in heavy, ragged breaths. "I never thought I'd come home to this," he whispered, the hurt in his voice cutting through the silence. Maria's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. I was afraid you'd hate me. But I needed to be honest." Luca took a step back, feeling the emotional distance between them stretch even further. The man he was before the war, the husband, the protector, the one who always made things right, wasn't the man standing here now. That version of him had been shattered long before the war, and now he realized his heart had been shattered again. I don't know what to do with this, Luca said, his voice trembling. I wanted to come home to you. I thought we could rebuild what we had. We can't go back, Luca, Maria said softly. We can only move forward. But I don't expect you to stay if you can't forgive me. The room was thick with the weight of their words, each one a knife, cutting deeper into the fabric of the life they once had. Luca stood there for a long time, staring at the woman who had once been his everything, now a stranger in the very house they had built together. He didn't know what the future held or if forgiveness was even possible. But one thing was clear. This wasn't the homecoming he had imagined. The mission was over, but this battle, the hardest one, had just begun. In this story, Luca comes back from his mission to find his world turned upside down. The emotions are raw betrayal, confusion, and heartbreak, all colliding with the reality of a life he thought he was returning to. This creates an intense emotional journey for him, where he has to figure out whether there's any way forward, either with Maria or alone. Hey everyone, thanks so much for being part of this journey with me. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an update. Subscribe to stay connected and be the first to see what's coming next. And if you think your friends would love this too, share it with them. Every follow, share, and comment helps me bring even more amazing content your way. Let's grow this community together. Your support means everything. Thank you.